Okay, you can start now.
I can start now. Hello, everybody. We're going to do a short section on tools in the Philippines, especially for the small farmer and things that we've had to kind of create and develop because basically, except for a couple things, there are really very little of tools in the Philippines. The basic tool that most Filipinos have is what they call like their bolo knife, and that made from spring steel, and they use it for everything. I mean, from trimming wood to cutting uh,
Grass.
everything that you can imagine, the cutting up, the digging, the planting, and everything
Yeah,
else in
chopping
that.
meat. Chopping
Uh,
meat.
they use it for everything. And these were created by Filipinos
Yeah,
and built the case, a wood
nice.
case, along with the blade, and they even make their own handles out of a piece of wood and then some basically some fishing line to tie
Yeah.
it together in that. They're very handy with creating their own tools that they need for the particular job they have. Uh, most anything you buy here has a wooden handle to it and will come generally in the form of a shovel is about all they have here. When I wanted a pitchfork, I had to create my own by basically cutting off a shovel, buying quarter-inch square rod along with rebar, and creating my own and building my own. And I know enough about welding, and on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm about a 1 or 2 welder. Not very good, but if I can get it to stick,
That won't
it
break.
works just fine. The wood handles all rot
Yeah.
in a climate like this, or they're eaten by the bugs and they deteriorate over a year or two. And as they do, I've been replacing them with basically metal handles. And as you can see, the same with the shovels here. Here's one still with the wooden handle, and that they sell here. But that's another one of the basic tools. And besides that, there's really not much else. This is actually rebar that they've used to flatten out the end as a digger and then the other end pointed end. And
Yeah.
if they're digging a well or they're basically digging footings for foundations and all their buildings, it's done by hand.
Yeah.
Everything here is done by hand. So they dig with this and they're very good at it. They can dig a 6 foot by 6 foot square hole down 25 to 30 feet by hand with a shovel and a digger as such. It's pretty amazing to
Yes.
see them work.
Yes, heavy.
Other things I've created basically for the garden, again, using rebar, cutting some angle. I've made myself a small cultivator. Again, put a metal handle on it because, like I said, anything wood here deteriorates very rapidly. And likewise with a hoe I've got here, I've this was a short purchase as a short hand hoe, and I created a hoe so I could stand up and be able to use it. Other tools, pitchforks. There are no such thing as pitchforks here, which we'd have in the States. And because I have compost piles and do a lot with the rice hay and that, again, I've had to create my own out of basically quarter-inch square bar. And I bend it, weld it, and put a metal handle on it and that.
That's fancy.
And I got a 4-prong one here, a little bit bigger. They're quite heavy with the metal handle. I wish we could use the wood better, but like I said, the wood is short-lived here, and if you want something that's going to last and stand up. But again, basically bent by hand and that to come up with the form and that, and then with my basically arc welder, I can weld it together and that, and this will give you a little bit of an idea. Oh, other things I've created, specialty tools. I took a couple of the knives, I cut them, re-welded the blades together to come out with what in the States everybody recognizes as a froe for shaving and that, and which is very useful here, even though all the wood is hardwood here. And again, it's something I had to create on my own from what's available because you can't find anything like this here. Another tool. This is what we refer to as a froe and that. In order to split basically firewood, but it's difficult to use here because there are no softwoods here. Really, everything grown in the tropics is a very hard wood, and the grain is not very straight. So in order to use this, it's not like cutting cedar where you get a nice easy straight cut, or pine where you get a nice easy straight cut. So, but we'll definitely probably find a use for it down the line here. But that'll give you an idea of the few of the tools that are used here and that we use on the farm here, and what we've had to do in order to make up for basically a deficiency here because, like I said, they've got one basic hand tool here that they use, and that's it. Anything else that we may be used to, you know, you got to create out of your own imagination and the availability of supplies here. So thank you for watching this video. As you can see, our family in front of me here is watching and listening diligently. Thank you for watching the video,
Yeah.
and we will try again sometime in the future with something else like this about how farming in the Philippines is so much different than it is in the U.S.
Okay. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. How long?